Garza.
Again, Hector Garza, representing the National Border Patrol Council, Local 2455, out of Laredo, Texas. Thank you for providing me with the opportunity to testify on behalf of the National Border Patrol Council and on behalf of the U.S. Border Patrol agents that we represent. Again, my name is Hector Garza, and I am a native Texan, and I do live on the border. I joined the U.S. Border Patrol in 2000. My position with the U.S. Border Patrol is that of a Border Patrol agent. I also currently serve as the president for the National Border Patrol Council, Local 2455. I am here today to provide you with a glimpse of what is really happening on the Texas-Mexico border. I will speak to you today about the federal government's failure to secure the border by not enforcing our immigration laws, particularly the federal government's failure to prosecute alien smuggling cases. The federal government has some of the most restrictive prosecutorial guidelines for smuggling cases, and as a result, many smuggling cases are not prosecuted. As a matter of fact, most smuggling cases are not prosecutorial guidelines for smuggling cases, and as a result, many smuggling cases are not prosecuted. As a matter of fact, most smuggling cases are not even referred for prosecution because of these restrictive prosecutorial guidelines. When arrested for their smuggling crimes, these smugglers are simply walked out the front door without facing any type of consequences. Therefore, these smugglers continue to operate their criminal enterprises with impunity. What we are seeing is that smugglers continue to smuggle aliens into our country with a brazen disregard for our laws. They say crime doesn't pay, but by failing to secure borders, crime not only pays, but it is reaping huge dividends to these smuggling organizations. The state of Texas needs to take an aggressive stance against these criminal organizations that are literally bringing in thousands and thousands of illegal aliens into our country. If the state of Texas does not act now, Texas will continue to be viewed as an easy entry point for alien smugglers because there is no fear of prosecution of being caught. Again, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to testify, and if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
Let me just say thank you, Mr. Garza. I know you're one of the uniformed law enforcement services that doesn't get a lot of attention and meaning support and resources to do what it is you do. And so you tell a very similar story that regular citizens tell and other law enforcement folks tell. And so let me just say thank you for putting the uniform on and operating in some pretty difficult terrain and doing so to the best of your ability. It takes special people to put on the Border Patrol uniform. So thank you. Senator Hall, any questions?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hector, thank you very much for being here, and I too want to thank you for your service, putting on the uniform and stepping in harm's way for us. But make sure everybody understands you are a border agent, and you are here and you're speaking on behalf of other border agents. In your position with the union, you're not just speaking for yourself, but you are speaking for agents in general.
That is correct, sir. I am speaking on behalf of the Border Patrol agents that we represent. Our Border Patrol agents were made aware of this testimony that was going to be provided on this day, and I am here speaking on behalf of the National Border Patrol Council, Local 2455.
So what you're saying is a concern by the Border Patrol agents themselves.
That is correct, sir.
Can you explain to us what's the prosecutional threshold for an illegal alien criminal smuggling case?
Sir, the prosecutorial threshold right now in the Laredo area is at 6 illegal aliens. What that means is that if you're caught with less than 6 illegal aliens, you are not going to get prosecuted. You are simply going to get released either back to Mexico or back to your country, or if you're an American citizen or a legal permanent resident, that means that you're simply going to walk out the front door, and you will never see any consequences. And that creates a specific problem because these smugglers will continue to commit their crimes, and they'll continue to smuggle aliens time after time. Therefore, the federal government has not done their part to stop the smuggling events.
So you're saying that less than 6, it's a catch and release on the spot?
That is correct. So for those illegal aliens, for those smugglers, if they are not transporting more than 6, then you're not getting charged with anything.
That's almost like saying if the bank robber leaves with less than $1,000, we won't arrest him.
That's exactly what it means, sir.
Fine, good. All right. How does the Border Patrol feel about how secure is our border from your standpoint?
Sir, I want to make it clear that the perspective that I am providing today is not only my perspective, but is the perspective of the Border Patrol agents that we represent. Many times our leaders, our managers, our chiefs paint a different picture to our representatives, and they paint that picture that the border is secured, and I'm here to tell you, sir, it is not secured. We lose groups that are entering our country. We do not detect them. We do not apprehend them. Many times we are not assigned to areas where we won't even know if those bodies are not coming in. And that presents a very difficult challenge. If we had enough people on the ground, enough agents on the ground, we would definitely have more gotaways because we would have those agents to actually count those aliens that came in and actually came into our country. As it is right now, so we don't have the manpower to do that. So we really don't know who's coming in and who's not.
Okay. Now, you just mentioned something about the catching the number that we actually apprehend. I read an article recently that talked about changes that were made in Border Patrol procedures, wherein the number that are being apprehended now gives the appearance that we're actually catching a larger percentage, in which previously they would identify where possibly 20 illegal criminals had come across the border, but you end up only catching 10, that you're now, as I understand, they're now reporting 10 for 10?
The way it works, sir, is that when you're out there working the line and you see a group of, let's say, 20 crossing the river, our agents will set up around that area to be able to apprehend that group. If we only catch 10, then that means that 10 got away. Unfortunately, we do get pressure from our managers in the way we report these gotaways, and sometimes they'll want that verification of the aliens that actually got away, but sometimes it's just impossible. We do know that if we have 20 bodies coming in, if only 10 are apprehended and 10 don't never go back, then that means that 10 got away and made it into our country. I also want to make it very clear that aliens do come in all the time and they get away all the time. We might have anywhere from 60 to 80 a shift that get away, but they are undetected, and sometimes those got away numbers are not reported accurately.
Okay. And what happens when a Texas law enforcement officer detains an illegal alien criminal? What, say in a smuggling case, what happens?
Currently, the way it works, sir, just like Director McCraw mentioned, if a DPS or a deputy sheriff or a city police officer encounters an illegal alien, that illegal alien will be detained and Border Patrol will be called out to the scene. The problem with that is that on the surface, it sounds like a great plan, but when we don't have enough Border Patrol agents to respond to that call out, Texas law enforcement officers will end up releasing that illegal alien because that Texas law enforcement officer does not have the authority to detain that illegal alien or arrest him or charge him. Now, in regards to alien smuggling cases, if a trooper, deputy sheriff, or city police officer pulls over a vehicle with, let's say, for example, one driver and 5 illegal aliens, Border Patrol will be called to the scene. We'll take custody of those illegal aliens. We'll take custody of that vehicle, custody of that driver. We'll process that case accordingly. But since it does not meet that prosecutorial threshold, we simply release that smuggler that was committing this smuggling crime. And
your prosecutorial threshold isn't the nature of the crime, it's the number of people that you would be detaining.
Correct, sir. So,
for the record, I want the record to hear that again. Would you say that again? Yes,
sir. So pretty much, if you're a smuggler and you are smuggling 5 illegal aliens, and the prosecutorial threshold is 6, you will not, that smuggler will not get prosecuted.
What we have inherently done federally, is provide sanctuary to who would smuggle as long as it's in smaller amounts.
Correct, and that is exactly what is happening. And what we see here, Senator Burwell, is that these smugglers are continuing to smuggle aliens at those low numbers, and they know that they're not going to get prosecuted. Now, in the past, if I may add, if those aliens were placed in a dangerous situation, so let's say, for example, if you were smuggling 2 illegal aliens, you knew you were not going to get prosecuted. But if you were placing those illegal aliens in danger, like placing them in your trunk or in a tow box, in the past, you would get prosecuted because of the dangerous situation that you place those illegal aliens in. However, we've seen recently that even those cases where those aliens are placed in danger, that those smugglers are not being prosecuted. Sir.
No, you weren't finished, but I just had to jump in on that.
No, that's fine. But what you're saying is, this isn't a change in the law that came about that said, okay, if they got less than 5 or less than 6, we won't prosecute. That's a discretionary decision that has been made by the federal government. It's a policy to not enforce our well-established smuggling laws by raising the threshold to what you described. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what it is, sir. In the past, that threshold was at 7 illegal aliens, and currently it's at 6. So those smugglers will pretty much learn the system, and they know that if they keep the numbers low, they'll continue to smuggle aliens. And that smuggling might be you guiding a group through the river, guiding a group through the brush to circumvent the checkpoint, or simply moving an illegal alien from one town to the next in furtherance away from the border.
So what is your opinion about the value of the Interstate Compact? If we were to pass this and implement it, what is your opinion?
So what we've seen as Border Patrol agents, just as in the Rio Grande Valley, we've seen that DPS has done a great job. Their presence has deterred a lot of that criminal activity, but that needs to continue to happen. And unfortunately, that might be a temporary solution. As soon as those troopers leave the Rio Grande Valley, that business is going to be back to the way it used to be. Now, if the state of Texas is able to get an interstate compact on border security, well, the message that we'll be sending to these smuggling organizations and to these illegal aliens is that you cannot conduct your dirty business in Texas. You have to go elsewhere. You have to go to those states that are not willing to enforce the law. And the state of Texas has to take an aggressive stance and let these people know that you will not conduct business in our state. And if you do, you will get caught and you will get prosecuted and you will pay the price. So now we'll be able to say that crime does not pay.
So you would say you are definitely for this bill?
Definitely, sir, for it. And also the Border Patrollers that we've reached out to are also in support of this bill.
Thank you very much. I would love to hear your testimony. We could keep people informed all day long about the things you've seen, but we've got a lot of other people here, so thank you very much for coming. Again, thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Let me add, if I may, Mr. Garza, I know that there's probably an unspoken here as well. That's an unspoken courage that you had to demonstrate to come be with us today. I think most federal employees probably would be very hesitant to come speak and be as forward as you have. So it isn't just our obligation to recognize your service to the state or to the nation as a Border Patrol agent, but to recognize your personal courage in coming forward and airing some of this stuff that would not be viewed favorably by federal officials. So thank you for your courage.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you.